with experience in Kenya and the US supporting mission driven organizations through digital campaigns and client engagement. She currently serves as a social media strategist at Demeter Marketing Agency and project associate at Ubuntu Leadership, advocating and advancing gender and DEI training. Drawing from her own journey with dyslexia, Koi advocates for awareness, inclusion, and reframing neurodiversity as a strength in education and in the workforce. Ladies and gentlemen, Koi Douglas. The next one is Wesley Njoroge. He is a medical student at Aga Khan University, pursuing a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, living with dyslexia. He says, I have learned that that it does not define intelligence, but instead reflects a different learning profile. With academic accommodations and a strong faculty support, I have been able to thrive in my studies. Ladies and gentlemen, Wesley Njoroge. We also have Clarice Jackson, is a prominent advocate for education, equality, and literacy access, particularly for vulnerable communities. Her mission began in 2000 when she addressed her own daughter's dyslexia, leading her to found the Voice Advocate Center in 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, Clarice. And Anita Macha. Anita Macha, you're in the building? Anita Macha, are you here? I'm waiting for a wave. There we go. Okay, Anita Macha is a dyslexic Tanzanian, recently graduated in communication media production. Motivated by her personal experiences, Anita has dedicated her time and voice to making a difference. She regularly visits schools to speak to students, teachers, and parents about dyslexia, raising awareness, sharing her journey, and encouraging greater understanding and support for those affected. Anita envisions an education landscape where every child, regardless of how they learn, has the chance to thrive. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my panel. Now, this panel, I give them a couple of questions, and each of them will answer just one question. And how we're going to do this is from that one question, they will share their experience of how they've dealt with the dyslexia that they have, or the variation, or the divergent that they have. And then now we can move on to the closing remarks, which will be one question about the present, the past, and the future for them. So I will start with look at me, but you knew it was coming. Yeah. So I'm going to start with you, Koi. Yes. And my question is very simple. Looking back, how did stigma around dyslexia affect your early life, and what helped you begin to change the narrative for yourself?
Hello, everyone. Can anyone hear me? Hello, everyone. Um, so I think the stigma of dyslexia affected me as a child. It made me very quiet. I think I internalized everything, especially before I was diagnosed. And then once I was diagnosed, and a few years after that, my mom and I were fortunate enough to move to the US. And I finished high school and university, which is something I never thought I'd ever do. I never thought I'd graduate high school. I never thought I'd even get into university. Um, so that it started to change then. And it really was the support of my teachers and my mom. Um, really helping me through every little step, every little, semester, all the classes I'm going to, my tests, my everything. And I think that's when I started to realize that I can do this. I don't know if I fully believed it until more recently, but yeah, that's how it started to change. It was really the support.
What was it? What was it like before and after? Because I know this skips right into your diagnosis. What was the difference between before and after? And I know you got diagnosed not exactly here. Could you give us that story?
So I was diagnosed at the age of 10 in the US. My mom moved to the States to do her master's. And within 2 weeks of me starting school, they called my mom and said, "We think your daughter has dyslexia and we want to do testing." The difference between before and after, I think confidence was one thing. Um, but I think before that, I really just felt really incompetent. I didn't feel normal. I didn't feel um, like I really mattered and that I was just kind of overlooked a lot. Um, and I think also I would do things so that I was overlooked. So I was quiet. I was, I would kind of shut off. I actually have no memory of me learning in class as a child. None. No, nothing. Um, so yeah, and then after that, and it took a while because we moved back home and there wasn't really a lot of support here. My mom tried to find people, but it was outside of school. Um, After that is when things started to change. Once we moved back to the States and I was in high school, um, I just felt like the path to graduating high school was open. It was there. I could see it. Whereas before I never saw that. It was kind of like darkness, like I just didn't know what would happen after school. Would I go to university? What would I amount to? What would I be capable of doing? Can I do the things that everybody else does? So yeah, that's what really changed.
Oh, thank you. Um, Piggybacking off what you've said and your experience, I'd like to ask Wesley something. Two things. One, your journey before and after, and then what was that turning point for you? Because what you're doing is intense. You're doing medicine, bruv, and surgery. I mean, that's not something that you hear every day. So, what was that turning point that you began starting to see your dyslexia as a strength?
Yeah, hi. I'm Wesley Njaraga. I'm a medical student at Aga Khan University. And more than that, I'm a medical student navigating higher education with dyslexia. Um, yeah, so for me, I I always I always knew there was something not normal. Okay, so funny enough, in our first year in medical school, we learn psychosocial foundations of behavior. So it's basically psychology.
Okay.
So we know that from age 6 to 11, it's according to Eric Erickson, here's a psychoanalyst. It's where the child is finding industry versus inferiority. So this is the period where the child is finding what they're good at. Also, looking in hindsight, I also have an eating disorder. So I was small as a kid. I was so small. So and I was like skinny and everything. So I wasn't like a sports person. I couldn't do anything else. So finding my industry, in hindsight, I always was told I'm smart. And looking back, and where that came from was, so also come from a very dysfunctional family. So we used to move a lot. I used to miss school for whole terms because, let's say, my mom moved back to her mom's place. So we were doing an interview for another school after I've missed school for a whole year. I was just coming from nursery, and then I don't know, something happened. They mixed up things and they gave me a class one exam. But I don't know, they just forgot and they left me to do it from morning to up to lunchtime. So I took my time, I just did it, and I finished, and I was like, oh, by the way, there was an exam here. And yeah, and they're like, yeah, we were testing this person. It was like the interviews and those things. And then they mark it, and then I become the top of the class. Like they rank me against the class that just finished that exam, and I become number one, and I haven't done pre-unit. And so they're wondering, like they're telling now my mom, your son became number one, and he's not done a previous class in uni. So that's where the whole, oh, he's really, really smart came from. So now getting into that stage of psychosocial development for industry versus inferiority. Being smart became my industry. Became my thing. I wanted to, because I just knew I was smart. But then nowadays you're having difficulties. But then you can't do anything else. This has to work. Have to battle through it because I'm not good at anything else. Like I remember in school, so yeah, so I skipped pre-unit. So I remember we used to be ranked from number one to number three, and then I used to become number four. I used to feel like I was giving it everything. Like I feel like I'm smarter than these people, but I'm not. I'm not. Why am I not there being given awards? So they are being given awards, number one, number two, number three, and then I'm there among the crowd, crying.
Oh.
Yeah, because am I not there? This is the only thing I'm good at. I can't run. We used to, I'm faster than you as kids. I can't do anything else. Like this is the only thing I'm good at. Yeah, so that was in a public school. Then I was taken to a boarding school later because family things. Yeah, I just also my parents were really unavailable. So me getting here, like it's really messed up motivations. Yeah, so I just wanted to feel seen by my teachers because I felt like my parents weren't seeing me. So yeah, so I just had to make it work. It's hard, but like I just had to make it work. So I remember in class four, now where I really like, no, no, in like as in this pre-classes, I know I'm really working hard, but like I'm not becoming top three. Why am I not becoming top three? And I felt like I was really trying. And then, so I remember, in class four, what they used to do was they used to divide the board into three, and then like the teacher used to write notes, and then you'd copy the notes, and then the first like row, the second one, the third one, then they come to the second one, they rub. You'll remember. Yeah, and then they rub, and then they write that one, and then they rub the second one, they write, and everyone is just writing and writing and writing. And they're getting to the third one and rubbing the first one, and I'm not done. And I'm there trying to copy from my desk mate. My handwriting is really bad. I'm writing really like as in not it's like really bad. Like this is when I was sleeping. Like it's really slow. Like I'm not. I'm trying. I'm trying to write. I'm just so slow in writing. The handwriting is really bad. Um, yeah, I remember. So, and then of course the teacher is looking back. They're expecting everyone is writing, and no, obviously you already missed like two slides. You can't start writing the third one, and you've missed the first one. So you're pretending you're writing. They're looking back, and you're like, but you've even lost the flow and everything. So You
So
can't.
how would you catch up with that, like with the notes? Because then at the end of the day, you still needed the notes.
Yeah, I think I just didn't try it. Yeah,
It was just not a thing.
yeah, it
It
was
was like it's
just
fine.
yeah,
Yeah, whatever.
yeah, and then maybe I'd get into trouble because when they check, when they come to check later.
How often did you get into trouble?
So the thing is, a lot, a lot. Yeah, but like it's again, it was the only thing I was good at,
Yeah.
and because of not the eating disorder,
Mhm.
just it, it's not like it's like I can't. Hmm. So like, of course, now I'm a grown up. Now I know, and I take measures and
Yeah.
everything. But then I remember I used to eat only breakfast. I remember I used to smell the smell of rice, and then I'd get nausea. The whole thing. So I was really, really small. If I showed you photos of me in class 8,
It was a mess.
I looked like a class 3. So I couldn't do anything else. Like,
So
so I had to make
books
this
was
work.
the thing.
I had to make it work.
Yeah.
And coping, I think, of course, it's hard. But then I think along the way, you just see all that hard work as normal. Now that becomes my normal. I don't know what normal is
Yeah.
because that's
Like what neurotypical normal is.
yeah, I
So
don't
that's
know
not a thing. Uh-huh.
because I've just been pushing from yeah, I remember yeah, so basically yeah, so yeah, I just coped and then now you remember like primary school was
So you see, when you
MCQs.
say cope, I'm like, what does cope look like?
Yeah,
What was
coping looks like
Yes.
knowing everything.
So it was
And then
deep down into books
yeah,
consistently.
and then you remember primary school was MCQs, you had 4 question ABCD.
Mhm.
So, and then there were just people who are so fast in primary school, like people who do math in. We were given 2 hours, people are doing in 45 minutes,
Yeah.
and geez, people are just so fast. And I'd never finish my papers. So 50 questions I'd do up to like, say, 43.
Mhm.
Like that's where the time ended.
Yeah.
And you're there sticking with your paper, the teacher is collecting and everything. And then you guess the others. And then the paper will come back and Wesley has an 86. So everything I actually did, I got right,
Yeah.
you know, and that was my coping mechanism for a long time. Everything
Nice.
I did, everything I ever attempted, I got right. Wesley has a 94. It means he got to number 47,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah.
he guessed the others.
That is quite the story. I don't know whether um Clarice, when you're raising your daughter, some of the things that Wesley is talking about are those things that you had experienced with her.
Yes, absolutely. She felt the same as you. She felt like she was stupid. I mean, I never told her she was stupid, but because she understood she struggled in school and that everybody else was getting done faster than her, and after a while, you have the same classmates and you go from grade to grade, people start to notice that you can't read, and that when you attempt to read, that you don't do it well or that you are flat out wrong. And so my daughter began to internalize that a lot. And so one of the things that I talk about in my workshops that I do on dyslexia is the avoidance behaviors that come about from that. And so my daughter started developing that. She would do whatever she needed to do to get out of class. I mean, if that was to be the class clown, if that was to fall out, if that was to say have an outburst, and she had ADHD as well. If she got up, uh, those things would get her out of class, which would then avoid the task, the burden, the embarrassment of learning or having to read or read out loud. And so I got a lot of phone calls when she was in elementary And even into high school, I mean, they continued with a little bit more grace by that point because we had figured out what it was. But yeah, it was really, really hard for her. And um, I say this when I talk about her that one of the things she used to do all the time was hit her head all the time and say, like she was trying to tell her brain, I'm stupid. She would try to read something in a book, and because she couldn't decode it, she would hit herself in the head and say, I'm dumb. I'm stupid. There's something wrong with me. And so I had to reinforce for a very long time that there was, in fact, nothing wrong with her, that dyslexia has nothing to do with how smart you are. And matter of fact, she was very smart. It's just that she learned differently. And the system, and I still say this today, the system was not set up to teach you the way you learn. And that's why you have struggled. But it has nothing to do with your brain and its ability to learn to read, write, and spell. And as your mother, I'm going to figure out what this what is and get you the help that you need. And that's what I did.
Wow. So how and I know for her, of course, it's okay, please clap. It's very important. So the journey between her and you figuring out what is wrong with her or what will be wrong with her into this is how we're able to learn because we're learning differently. You're smarter. It's not that you're given a test and not able to do. It's just it's a little different. Okay. So what was that journey like for the two of you from not knowing to knowing?
If I'm honest, I was very young then. I'm not the seasoned woman I am right now. So I was 19 at the time, 19, 20, 21, and had never heard of the word dyslexia. And so my daughter made it to the fourth grade, unable to read simple 2 and 3 letter words. She just could not do it. And so I advocated and advocated and advocated within the school system. And I was everything that the school system said I should be. I was at the parent teacher conferences. I was a team player. I read to her. I did homework with her. We did all of those things, and she still could not read. She was placed in special education where they basically gave her a curriculum that still did not work for children who are dyslexic. And so she still made no progress. So after seeing that for 1 year, that's when the light bulb came on to me that this system doesn't know how to teach her. And you're wasting your time and you're wasting your daughter's academic life by keeping her in this system that doesn't know how to teach. So that's when I began to look outside the system and I began to research and study myself. Found out the word dyslexia, started researching that, found a school that uses a multisensory program, put her in that school, and guess what? Ironically, in 1 year, she went from not being able to read to reading on a third grade level. And the public school had her from pre-K to fourth grade, and she couldn't read simple 2 and 3 letter words. And so that forever changed my life, and it's caused me to be right where I am today.
Oh, gee, that's beautiful. Um, Anita, I was going to ask you about advocating for yourself, and I love what Clarissa said. It required for her to step out of the zone. That's what you had to do to step out from the system, figure out something that will work for you, and then find those solutions. Anita, if you're like us in Kenya, we have these jokes about our parents, our mothers, the typical mother behavior, right? You're given an assignment, you do. If you do it badly, they'll take a slipper and throw at you. They will take a mwiko in that kitchen and throw at you. You know, for you, how was that growing up?
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
So, growing up, it was like very difficult, but I was lucky enough that from when I was younger, they found out that I had like dyslexia and everything. And it was a huge like struggle for me with like during school and like classes, like the bullying. Why couldn't I be like my other peers, my other friends, and everything? Because they were the ones who were like getting the good grades and everything and doing well. And then I would always like be like I always like felt like left behind and not doing like what like my other peers and everyone else. And I would always go back home like crying and being upset about it and stuff like that. So that was like mainly when I was like younger in my like earlier years through my like primary and secondary school. And then afterwards, I slowly got used to it, and I said, oh, this is like part of me. I can't change it, and this is what I'll have for life. So why not like start like slowly talking about it? Because before, when I was much younger, talking about it was like a struggle. I would like feel like bad. Why am I talking about it? And I would like cry a lot. And then now, like getting older and everything, I found like, okay, this is what it is. I researched more about it, found people who talk about it, and say I also like talk about it and like advocate for it, because it's part of me and then part of who I am. So why change? Why change? So it's better that you talk and you find people that are able to like help you along the way and advise you along the way, because it was a challenge. It wasn't easy. I was getting even the low grades, as they say, the E's and the D's and all that. And I would always wonder how comes my peers were getting like the higher grades and everything like that, and I wasn't succeeding like they were and everything like that. And it was a huge struggle, but I'm grateful like for the support I got and my parents who were able like to support me, because for some people they don't have the support. They don't have, some people like are called names or are kicked out of class, or they don't have that system where they could find out that they have dyslexia or they have other neurodivergent things, problems and everything like that. So with the support and with people backing people, it's easier for them to understand who they are, understand how they get through places and get through life, because it's not, education's not everything, because not everyone can understand like education and everything, because other people have other skills, other skills. It's not like reading, writing, or having like maths or understanding that. They can be brilliant in whatever it is, but sometimes it's the systems that people are in, it's the opportunities that people lack to get. So with the right opportunities and the right system, people can go further, but it's difficult. For some people, they're not able to, or some people don't even get diagnosed or they detect it. Some people are called all this. So with advocating, as I've gotten older, I've understand it helps so that people can know what it is and to break the stigma.
Wow, it's a good job. So when you were diagnosed, was this done in Tanzania?
No, this was done in Kenya because I studied most of my life in Kenya because my parents were working here. So I studied through the systems in Kenya here. So my first school, as I came here, they found out that I was struggling. So they told my parents, oh, maybe she could be dyslexic. So they said they recommended me to do a dyslexic assessment. And then that's when it was further found out that I had dyslexia.
Okay, thank
Yes.
you. Thank you for clarifying that. I think I'm going to bounce this off to Wesley. You know, out of all this entire team, I think you're the one who's got into a lot of trouble. Yeah, you were just always in trouble. Now, at what point did you get an assessment?
Yeah, I got an assessment so much later. So just just going back. So that was I've told you the like primary
Yeah.
how I was coping. So yes, eventually I went into that boarding school, like not performing.
Yeah.
But as I continued, the coping mechanisms are getting better,
Mhm.
and eventually I was stopping my class with these coping mechanisms.
Mm.
So yeah, I did my KCP. Um yeah, thankfully, I thank God. I don't know, I'm just lucky. Funny enough, my KCP, so my rating is really bad. So, but yeah, my insha was a barua. So you guys know a barua is like a barua is a letter.
The letter.
Yeah, it's very short. So they won't know you can't write
Yeah.
because it's short. Yeah, and funny thing, KCSE also was a barua. Yeah.
So you already had a code.
Yeah,
You knew what to write.
that one it was a bit good. Yeah, so I remember like in composition we were told to you're supposed to write 1 3/4 pages. So I remember I was writing a good story. I was creative. I don't know. Maybe it's gone, but yeah, it was a really good story. So I was writing, and then time elapses, and I'm on my first page. I've literally done like 3/4 pages. I haven't flipped the page, and time is up. I remember that is the most scared I've ever felt. Yeah, I remember now I was index two, so the examiner, they have the guns there and the police are there. So they're picking up the papers, and she's telling me, Wesley, you have to give me the paper. And I'm there crying again, just trying to write. And then she skips me. She goes to 3, 4. She collects slowly. She collects the whole room, and then she comes back to me. And that was so nice because the story didn't go as I wanted. You know, there was a life hack for composition. You could just end it with, "Oh, I woke up, it was a dream." It always worked. It always worked. Yeah. So I just concluded, I just wrapped it up. "Oh, I woke up, it was a dream." Yeah. So in KCP, I only did one page in composition. And it's God's grace. I got a 99 in English. I don't know how good that story was. Yeah, ni God. So so I got a 426 in in KCP. Yeah, so with all these challenges, so I went to Alliance.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, so going to Alliance, I remember we were admitted for 26, just like my marks.
Yeah.
And then we did our first exam. And I remember they gave us, I didn't realize it, but it's because of standardization, math, the maximum marks in KCP was 84, and I got an 84. So it means I got everything in math in KCP. So apparently they gave us the same paper in high school, but now without choices. Yeah, and I got a 43 and was the last one in class by far. Like, as in, the second last one had like an 87 something. And now I remember the principal talking about people who came in through the back door.
You started feeling targeted.
Yeah, it will just show, you'll not survive because it's Alliance. Everyone wants to go to Alliance. It will just show you won't make it. The first position you'll become, that is on it will be like that until Form 4. So I became position 409, and so we were ranked according to KCP, and then that's what they do even today. If you look at your kids' reports form, so they have the KCP ranking, and their ranking they became now in the exam. So my KCP ranking was like 120 in the whole school. And then now I'm position 409, and I'm position 54 to 55 in class. I can't get to half of any paper whatsoever. I can't get to half that math paper. The math paper, I got everything in KCP. I wasn't able to do, and I didn't even realize it was the same one. And now, obviously, you're asking yourself what's going on. I'm just like, was I lucky in KCP? Like, I'm just bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. I'm bad. So yeah, I just continued performing very poorly in Alliance. I felt like I was understanding, but like the assessment, it was just, I just didn't know what was going on. I couldn't finish any of the papers. I just didn't know what was going on. And yes, it felt like I was not doing enough, but I was really trying because, as I told you, it was my industry. I was really trying, but it's not happening. So we went for COVID, and then I really like surfing the internet. Yeah, that's when I I came across dyslexia. Yeah, so yeah, in COVID basically. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe I'm not, yeah, I don't have a problem. It's just I have some difficulties. And then I'm one not to, like, Alliance doesn't allow you to have excuses. Like, you shouldn't have these things. So it was like just silent repost, like, hey, okay, now I know it's wrong. But like, I'm not sick. I just, yeah, I know, like, as in, it's, you see how, and then even African, just African,
The setup.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't put things on ourselves. We have that thing. Because I remember even telling my mom, she's like, "What do you mean you're okay? You can't. What are you saying? You're literally so okay.
Like, you can't say such
You
thing.
can't say such things."
Yeah, but what is dyslexia? Surely,
Yeah,
just say you don't understand. We move. It's okay. We will hire a tutor.
yeah.
Mhm.
So we went back to school, and then I had a group of friends. We were five. We were really, they were really smart. We were really smart, all of us. We were, like, and birds of a feather and everything. And just, I spoke like a smart person. How I solved problems, how everything. The results weren't just, but I was becoming position 400. And I don't know if people didn't know. I don't know. So we come back from COVID. I have really smart friends, and they're like, but then we do exams, and then everything reshuffles. You remember in Form 1, we were told, the principal said, the results you become will stick.
Yeah.
And then things reshuffle. People drop massively. People improve massively because it's COVID. You don't know what people are doing COVID. Yeah, some people were reading. Some people just thought the world was
Just not.
ending. Yeah. So we come back to school and things reshuffle like drastically. And I don't know. I was reading. I read, like, this is my industry, guys. Like,
The coping mechanism is coping.
yeah, I
Yeah,
have
it's
to.
coping.
So I'm really trying. So that last month before we opened, I read. So we come back to school and this massive shift, nini, I become position 240.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But my friends, so being in Alliance, when you're top 100, you're sure that you'll get an A in GCSE, like a straight A. So my friends, all of them are being top 100. But then after COVID, they're also position 200 and nini. So now we are together. I'm from huko nyuma. I come.
COVID, the equalizer.
Yeah, I come here, and then they're from up there. And now we are holding a meeting. Guys, we have really failed. And I'm like, we have really failed. We should do better. Nini. Going forward, we'll start reading together. We have to get that A. Nini. Yeah, we'll be very focused. And I was like, okay, now this is my opportunity. If these people will obviously go back to where they were. And I was like, I'm going back with them. Yeah, we are going back together. I don't know if it's like they forgot, like COVID was like a clean slate for me. Like they forgot this guy was like failing. Yes. So now the coping mechanism I had in primary school.
Yeah.
And of course it's harder because it's high school.
Yes.
It's more difficult to know everything, but it has to be done.
You coped.
Yeah. So I was reading. You go there, you write what you know. What you write is correct. What you're writing is correct. Anything you leave blank, that is what you're failing. So Wesley has a what? A 78. 78 marks of everything he wrote was correct. So the only things he failed was what he left blank.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we go like that, Eventually we we got to top 200s. Where the people personally wasn't able to ever get to top 100.
100.
It's
'Cause I was going
alliance.
to ask that. Did you
Yeah.
ever get to
No,
top
it's
100?
alliance. And that coping mechanism will.
It was going to be
It
difficult.
was good, but it wasn't that good.
Okay, then how did we decide we're going to do medicine? Now that we're done coping with high school, what did you get in high school?
I got an A.
Ah,
Yeah.
good job. Then from there, you were called to.
Yeah. So yeah. But I was not aware of my difficulties. I
Yes.
knew.
What
But
was
even
the-
when you try to tell your friends,
Mhm.
now these 5 people who are going, like,
You're
what
going
are you
together.
saying? Yeah, you are literally okay. Like we saw you're so smart. What do you mean you have attitude problems? You're literally so good, you know. But inside I was like burning out because what I'm doing is really unsustainable.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Mhm.
you can't keep knowing everything and then you're being assessed for only like you're not showing it. You're getting average marks, and you should be literally you're doing crazy things,
Yeah.
right? So obviously you're getting tired
Mhm.
because, but yeah, I knew I was really smart. I knew, and
In your heart of hearts.
yeah, I knew, I knew I didn't have anything to show for it, like actually,
Mhm.
but I knew it was there. So, and I always liked problem solving. So I just wanted to, I just, I just want to do something big. I think I have a lot of potential
Yeah.
to to do something to find my place like in this world, you know.
Okay. Okay.
And we decided to go in the biggest way possible, like healthcare, medicine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and yeah. Wow. So funny enough, about we were talking about stigmatization.
Mm-hmm.
So I was placed to do medicine in Kenyatta University.
As we finish.
Yeah, so yeah. Then I remember I just decided because now you can't apply this coping mechanism in medicine. Medicine, everything is just too much. You can't know everything.
Mhm.
You just can't. So I just went and had a discussion with the dean and just told them about my condition. And they told me that like there are smart people like all the time, you know, there are smart people with bipolar, there are smart people with schizophrenia, you know, there are very smart people, people who get A's, people who get called up to pursue medicine, but you don't take them because of their conditions. We
Oh,
are not saying that they're not smart. It's just with their conditions, they can't
so that's
do
your first
medicine.
experience with
Yeah.
severe
Yeah.
stigmatization.
So they are like, you just
Yes,
choose
yes, yes.
something easy.
Yeah. Let her.
They're telling me to just choose something
Yeah,
easy, to choose something at my
that's
level.
easier to just cope with.
Yeah,
That you can handle
because
even with your coping mechanism.
yeah,
Yeah.
and someone telling me I can't pursue medicine, that really, and it's a whole dean. Yeah,
That's
that
where you
really,
drew the line.
yeah, that really got me. It really affected me, and yeah,
Okay. Clarice, I feel like that has just
Yeah, he
struck a nerve.
solidified it. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
your story. It's powerful. I'm so happy that you realized who you are and what you will be and who you are right now. So thank you for that. I'm getting flagged out here that our time is
Yeah,
up.
'cause
So
need to run. Yeah.
yes. So I'll hand it back to you.
Oh no.
Yep.
Yes. You needed to say something else.
No, I'm good.
Okay. Now, the final thing that I want to ask all of you briefly, if anything could be done differently now, what would that be?
I think the entire education system needs to be redone. Yeah, that's where I would start. Yeah, it needs to be changed. It's been the same for many, many, many years, and it's enough. It needs to be restructured and it needs to be more inclusive. And I think there's so much that can be done because I saw it being done for me in the US in a high school of 4,000 kids.
Yeah, I think for me also it's just schools implementing accommodation. It doesn't have to be complicated things. Just simple things like uh more time.
Yeah.
That's what is done for me in Aga Khan University. I'm added more time and I'm literally becoming the best in my class. So just simple things, and it doesn't have to be seen as something not normal. Should be as normal as someone
It's
being given
accommodating.
glasses
Yeah.
for short-sightedness.
True. Clarice?
I echo everything that they said, and I'm going to let this young lady to my left give her final compliments because I speak tomorrow, so you'll hear more from me then.
Yes, I also take on what everyone else said, but also there should be more like understanding and more funding and more awareness because not everyone like knows about it. They can know, but they don't know further or they don't go the extra mile. So that's what we need. We need to people to go like the extra mile and to do more about it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I think for lived experiences, we would literally almost sleep here because the journeys are diverse, they're different, but more importantly, it's the key things that we need to hear so that we're able to adjust not just our policies, but even how we teach, how we parent, how we live, how we move from one place to another. It will literally structure everything else from infrastructure to medicine to every facet of what we do in our daily lives. What we neurotypicals take advantage or very normally live about our lives, it's not the same for neurodivergence. And now that we're learning this, if we're able to make those policy changes, I think we're going to change not just as a country, but as a region and as an entire continent. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for my fantastic panel. I think they've done a great job. Thank you very, very much. You can get off the stage. And I know now we're going to do our breakout sessions. If I can have that on the screen so that we know where we're going. Those are the breakout sessions, and each of these rooms have been assigned. Which direction are we going? From this way, we will go round into this side. Yes? Yes, this way. So from here, you go around into the breakout rooms. We have Lagat Hall, we have Seneya 3 and Seneya 2. And the teams that are carrying and leading this sessions, the facilitators are ready. And if you'll allow us, there's some that need to be catching flights at some point today. They need to fly off. So if we could, adjust and move as fast as we can so we can get to the panels. They can give us some quality good tips on how to move around all these things that we have planned for you. Then we should be good. After this, okay, so a couple of things may have shifted, but the more important thing is if you're already signed up, trust me, we're going to give you something that is also as fun and equally as interesting. So you have nothing to worry about. If it does not sound like what you had signed up for, trust us. We will adjust just a couple of things here and there, but we'll still deliver very, very good sessions for you. That is 100% guaranteed. So we can head out to our breakout sessions. If you'll kindly allow me to say that. If it's possible, if we can meet tomorrow at 8. Yes, we're going to meet in the hall tomorrow at 8, and we'll have a fantastic session. So on behalf of the entire team that has been here, Kise, Bloom Dyslexia Center, the government team that has been present with us, kindly allow me to call this session to an end as we head out to our breakout sessions. The team that is heading our media team at the top with our music, kindly lead us well. And I'm hoping you can play us some music as we head out to our sessions. If you'll allow me to call Madam Esther. Uh-huh. So Lagatol is this one. Oh, this is Lagatol. What? Oh, so this is Lagatol. Then the other two are the ones that we're going to on the other end. So Sanea 3 and Sanea 2 are on that end. This is Lagatol. So for those who are remaining in Lagatol, of course, you're very, very welcome. Your facilitators are already present. If you could kindly do that. And if you're remaining here, Hanan Jerry and Shakila Strawberry, if you can head up here. So the topics on teen literacy interventions, that is in Sanea 3, and the science of reading, foundations of literacy equity are in Sanea 2.